Good morning, everyone. As last introduced, my name is Essie Loza. I'm also known as Essie, and it is an honor today to present to you something very near and dear to my heart. You know, in the age of HR technology now, buzzwords are digital transformation, AI, but we have to go back to the roots. We have to go back to remind ourselves, what is HR technology and why is it such an important tool currently right now in our organizations and our companies? Before we dive in, I want to tell you just a little bit about myself. Real quick, my timer is not going. Does that mean I get extra time? I have to make sure I stay on task there. Thank you. So a little bit about me. I wear lots of hats in the organization that I currently work at, which is Catholic Charities. I am the Senior Director of our People Systems and Operations. But today, just for you guys, I am going to be your transformation partner. I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that's going to take your organization from 0 to 100%. Trust me, I'm going to do that today. I'm also your systems designer. Systems are not just the technology, it's the people, it's the processes that go with it. And I'm also your traditional problem solver. You are here today because you have problems that you're hoping to fix, or you have problems that you fixed and you would like to talk about that. My goal today is not just to tell you about the work that we do at Catholic Charities, but to get you basically to fall back in love with the HR technology that you have currently in place right now. So a little bit of stats on the screen there. I'm not going to go into details, but I've had the pleasure of working across the globe in many industries, and I've worked behind the scenes and in the front lines. So I have a pretty good idea of what's trending, what our employers need, our employees need, what our HR admins need to do the work that they're called to do, as well as what does leadership need to make sure that they make data-driven decisions at the organizational, at the leadership level. Before going into the content of today, just want to give a little blurb of who we are at Catholic Charities, Archdiocese of Chicago. We are one of over 150 agencies in the current United States. We have many functions that we serve, a lot of programs, and just this past couple of years, we celebrated over 100 years in service. That is amazing that in the Chicagoland area, despite the changing locale, the ecosystem, what's going on at the government, state, local level, we are still having our doors open to serve those that are in need and continuing to serve those that are looking for the services that Catholic Charities offers every day, 24/7 in some cases. We serve the Cook and Lake County areas, and we always make sure that despite what our message is, how we receive people coming into the doorways, that we are always sharing hope, we're always sharing value, and we're always sharing the love that is within every piece of our processes, from administrative to the outward-facing programs, that hope is real and you deserve hope, that kindness, that care, and that love. So now that we've gone through the mushy part, I have a safe harbor statement that basically just says, the content I'm sharing today is just for this workshop. It's grounded in real life experience that I have personally been through, but my organization has experienced. And we are vendor neutral. I might throw out some HCM names, some HRIS systems, but we're not selling anything here. I'm just here to tell you my views are my own. I've been through some things, and I would like to share that with you. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about what does the reality, the current ecosystem of HR tech look like today. We're not going to talk about AI because while AI is very great, there is a whole nother side of HR tech that needs to be talked about as well. I'm going to give that the stage. We're going to talk about our systems framework that I use every day, not only at Catholic Charities, but also in the personal business that I have, where people, processes, and technology come together to allow us to win as an organization. I'll share those case study notes that I spoke about, where Catholic Charities, we sweated so you don't have to sweat. We cried so that you don't have to cry. I'm going to share all the solutions that we impacted, our trials, our tribulations, and at the end of the day, we will receive hugs from you. And then we're going to share those practical takeaways of what we learned, but how you can repurpose that in your organization as well. All right. I'm going to sigh a lot because I'm just remembering this modernization process that we went through at Catholic Charities. So modernization and digital transformation are buzzwords. We get excited and we have kickoff of the project, and then it slowly tapers. All of our best intentions end up not actually coming to fruition. Here's why. Our expectation after we get a new HR system, or when we update it or upgrade it or revitalize it, is that we'll have clean data. All our systems will talk with each other. We'll have strategic insights and dashboards for our board of directors, and our employees will be empowered. Here's what really actually happens. In reality, our data is still inaccurate because the technology does not solve the processes. Yeah? Okay. I'm seeing some nods. I also take amens, snaps. We're open here, okay? We still have manual processes because, like AI, we thought everything would just automate. No, ma'am, no, sir. We still need to actually fix the workflows. We have more disconnected tools. So we went from one system not working to a whole ecosystem of more systems that are not working. So yeah, our employees are still not being served the way they need to be served or empowered, and HR teams are still spinning our heads and losing our hair and turning gray. Yes, and our teams are overwhelmed. Why are they overwhelmed? Because in addition to the processes not being optimized, we now have to learn new technology. Yay. So as you can see, there's a small gap where I have the versus sign there. It's very tiny, and it's because that gap is where most modernization efforts fail. And it's tiny because we start off with the best intentions, but then we get overworked. We have other organizational priorities come up, and what was trending 3-4 months ago is now an afterthought because we're running to the next fire. I'm here today to revitalize you and say your HR technology modernization efforts are still important. Can I get a hand clap, somebody? Thank you, thank you. All right, because some of you guys are here, because you love data, this slide is for you. What does the data show? It shows that 25% of our implementations with HR technology fail. Not because we have no money, not because we don't have any resources, it's due to adoption. So some of you that have gone through implementations and modernization efforts will say, oh, go live, we're done, we're releasing the product. Hello, everybody. Go live is not an ending, it's a beginning. Going on to the next side of this, 35% of HR teams spend time still on manual work. Well, SC, I thought my new HR system was going to solve that. I thought AI was going to make everything sound great. Yes, but we're still humans. We modernize the technology, but not the processes. We did modernize the processes, but we didn't bring the people along. That's why we're still doing manual work. And then, this is a shocking number. I had to verify it, and if you stop me at the end, I will tell you where my data came from. 70%, meaning without automation, when you do your modernization efforts, meaning you just plugged and chugged, your modernization efforts still resulted in almost 70% of you even doing more administrative work. How is that possible? We have a new system. It's more modern. It's futuristic. It has all these AI agents. Why is my administrative work even more? Couple of slides down, I'll tell you why. And then 62%, this one is very interesting, of organizations can't show technology ROI. I was shocked when I found this out because on average, a new HR technology system is not cheap. It's a lot of money. And you should be able to directly translate ROI from that money you put in. Most of us sign a 3-year, maybe a 5-year agreement with the vendor. You should be able to show where your return on your investment is. If you can't, we have to go back to the framework of that people, process, and technology to see why. And then this one, oh, it's very hard. Over $100 million lost annually, not every 5 years or every decade or 25 years ago, annually, every year, 12 months, 52 weeks, due to unused or underused technology. How many of you currently are sitting on HR technology systems where you only use 25%? You're not alone. We're going to talk about why that happens. I know I only have 20 minutes, but this is a hot topic. Can you tell? You know, this is what we need to be talking about in addition to AI. So we can tell who's in the room. I saw some hands already. Let's level set, okay? I'll give you 30 seconds to absorb the options, but I want you to stand firm and with your whole full chest, raise your hand when I ask you the question of where you fall, okay? No judgment. This is a safe place. Cone of silence is around this room, okay? How would you describe your current HR system? Are you, A, held together by hope in spreadsheets? B, it's functional, but I'm still frustrated. There's more we can be doing. C, we're making progress. We've identified our gaps and we know where we need to take our system to the next level. It's coming. Or D, are you fully optimized and fully adopted? So I'll start. How many of you in this room resonate with A? Okay, we got one. Thank you for your courage. We will hug you after this session. B, how many of you are in the functional but frustrating stage? Okay. All right, we got some. I'm holding out. We'll give you a high five and a pat on the back. Just keep going. C, how many of you are making progress? Nice. Okay. Yes, love that. You guys get the first to eat today. That is what we're going to give you because you're doing great and you need to eat. And then D, how many of you are optimized and fully adopted? Woo, nice. I wish, I'm from Catholic Charities. I wish we had an offering plate to pass around so we can hand you the money. You deserve all the good things coming to you. So thank you for participating in that. That gives me an idea of who I should talk to and how I should target my next responses. Here is the famous PPT model. This model is made by Harold I'm a Nigerian, so certain words I can't say in an accent, but Levitt, thank you so much. I will send you a check after this presentation. Mr. Harold here, he's an American management psychologist. I never knew that we had such things, but this guy's a genius. He developed the PPT model, people, process, technology. He says, I did, zhuzh it up. I don't know if zhuzh is in the dictionary. I did zhuzh this up a little bit, so if you try to find Mr. Harold, this model might look a little different, but I wanted it to be relevant to us in this room today. So he says, if we do all three, people, processes, and technology, equal effort, here's what we can have. When we focus and optimize people plus processes, we increase the employee experience. When we focus on process and technology, we increase our efficiency with the people and our technology. When we maximize the people combined with the technology, we empower our staff to do better and do greater things. When we do all three together, ooh, I get goosebumps, we win. We accomplish our goals. We get ROI turned in. We become the statistics that actually wins. And we can stand at Rethink HR Tech USA and say, D, we are fully optimized and fully adopted. This is something that we want to pause here and take a look at. Because when we think about HR technology, we focused on the technology. Maybe, let's say 60%. The processes, we might not have time, I'll give it 25%. Little or no percentages left for the actual people. Some of us start off with the best of intentions. We want something that is easier. We want it to be mobile access for our folks in the field. We want to be able to clock in directly and show our PTO, and we want to be able to pull down XYZ. The list goes on. But when we are modernizing, we're not just buying a product. When we are modernizing, we must think about the people, who it's for. We must think about the processes, how it works. And lastly, the technology, that's the easy part, because it's what powers the outcomes that we choose and want to desire to see. That English sounded strange, but you got it. Okay, all right. All right, my favorite part of the entire session today is what's going on at Catholic Charities Archdiocese of Chicago, and what did they do? Full disclaimer, we have gone through the process. Maybe next year you guys can attend my next session. We went through modernization, and while we were modernizing, we experienced the need for us to get a full, totally new HCM because the gaps were too wide for us to keep optimizing. We were at B, then we were at C, and we said to get to D of fully adoption, we needed to go start the process over because our legacy system, because we're in the process right now of translating. No, not translating. We are in the process of implementing a new system right now as of today. But this case study is from our legacy system that we currently are still using. And at Catholic Charities, we said at the time, we had over 900 employees, but we had so many siloed systems. We said, no matter who you were an HR admin, you were a payroll admin or benefits admin, there was an overall lack of trust in the data that you were pulling. That was not acceptable. We had duplicate new hire data in said systems. We had different systems to take in new hires, for them to get their equipment and network access. We had a different system for them to come in through the candidate portal. We had a different system that manages their onboarding. It was a hot mess, ladies and gentlemen. Find out more as we get closer. And of course, we have manual processes. It started off with the best intention to, let's just document everything we do so we know what's happening. But then it stopped. We documented, for some, what we do, but we never translated it into automated workflows. As a result, we had a low self-service adoption, both employee self-service and manager self-services. Do you guys know what happens when we have managers now using self-service? Nothing happens. Yes. So our HRIS team or our HR team took on the power and the responsibilities of hiring, terminating, writing up, whatever that needs to happen that the managers will actually do, we did it ourselves. Yay for more work. Going to the next, what did we do first? We said, no, this can't happen. Okay, remember the disclaimer I said when I said I don't represent anybody but myself? This is the time. I said, we're not doing this anymore. We're gonna define what needs are relevant to each team. What does payroll need to know when a new hire comes in? What does IT need to know when an employee is terminated? What do our HR admins need to know when somebody's on leave of absence? We're going to document that, put it in the system, and when those little workflow buggies go, we're going to get notifications. Yay. We're going to align with IT and HR because, hello, we're on the same team, IT. Are any IT people in the building? No? Okay, we can talk smack about them. They're not here. Hello, IT, we're your friends. We are the human side of you. So when we hire people, we want you to work together with us to onboard them as well. You're not alone. We audited our HR databases. We said, hey, putting data inside of our system doesn't mean that it's database management. Because garbage in is what? Garbage out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. A pluses for everybody. And then we developed workflows that says, oh, originally we had people go in and manually hire people, and we had to do 10, 15 different clicks across 3 different systems. Not anymore. It's not still the best, but we're going to put things in Zendesk, which is our ticketing system, and we're going to have the manager put in the information, and it's going to just flow out to all 15 different teams that needs to onboard this individual. It's not the end result, it's not the best, but it's something. And then we engaged key stakeholders all around. So whenever data or people got stuck in different areas, leadership was involved to mitigate those things. And the impact and the outcomes are, we now have a single source of truth for all employee data. We increased data accuracy as a result of that. We streamlined onboarding. Again, still a little kinks, but at least we don't have to click on 10 different systems. And we have automation and workflows. Ladies and gentlemen, you need automated workflows, or at least a beginning part of workflows before you even think about bringing in AI, okay? AI is gonna just make it even worse. At least, again, just my experience. And we have a higher self-service adoption. It was hard, but after many, many spamming of emails with job aids, employees are now utilizing the system. I would say at least at an 80%, and our managers are coming along, kicking and screaming. Yes. So, takeaways. Number 1, start with what matters most. Not what you should be doing, not what the leader said you should be doing, what matters most? What is your number 1 pain point? Start there, because that's where you get the most ROI. Number 2, before you jump in to automation, simplify first. We had, for example, at Catholic Charities, in order to make one decision, it needed to go through 7 levels of leadership. We said no, maybe 2. The employee's manager, and then that person's manager, 2 levels before it goes over to payroll to execute. Build momentum with small wins. Pause to celebrate. I know it's kind of like, oh, kumbaya, I get it. But trust me, when you are fighting the fight, the good fight of solving problems, you want to celebrate the little wins, because those visible improvements is going to let you stay engaged with the rest of your stakeholders. And then align with them early, said stakeholders, get HR, IT, finance, and ops together early, because we are all benefiting from this modernization efforts. And just in case you fell asleep through my very engaging presentation, I have something that AI helped me create that tells you all the things that you need to know. Take away in 6 short things. I'm not going to show it here because AI and I are kind of beefing right now, because, you know, HR tech should have more things to say. So if you get this presentation, it's already there included. And as I wrap up, because I love quotes, I want to leave you guys with some very inspirational words from my buddy Winston Churchill. It goes like this: success is not final, failure is not final, it's the courage to continue that counts. I believe in each and every one of you guys here, and some of you are in projects that are 1, 2, 3 years in. I believe in you. You will see the full fruits of your labor, and it will be fully adopted. I believe in you, and I wanted you to tell you guys to hang in there, continue that good fight, and thank you so much for your time.